Alright guys, today we are doing the top mount bushing replacement. I've already got one out. I'll show you kind of the gist of how you do this. See, you've got these bolts up top. This bolt goes here, and of course you have to take that off to get it out of the actual car. And of course this is your bushing that goes over the top, and then that's there, and then that pulls through. I'll do a reinstall after I'm done and do a complete video of that. You have to pull this back, and these two bolts here on the ground, they go here on the strut. Be sure when you go to take off your top mount bushing, the bearings went bad in it, so it's popping and stuff when I go over dips and corners and things, so I'm going to replace it with a new one. But be sure when you do this, when you go to put it back in the vehicle, that you line, where's it at? There's a little notch on the top right here. This little notch here has to be, I don't know if you can see it or not, I'm doing this with my GoPro right now, so but you got to line these notches up with your actual sway bar link bolt hole that goes down here, that right there. So it's got to be lined up with it so it's aligned correctly in the vehicle. So right now I'm going to take these spring compressors. If you've got an actual machine to do this, it's a hell of a lot easier than using these bad boys, because you got to do a lot of cranking to get this spring compressed to get this off. Alright, I'm going to get started on that and go from there. Alright, so I've got it ready to take the compress the spring down. I've already gotten this side compressed. It helps a whole lot to have a drill. I use Milwaukee's the shit. So but definitely you've got to get it compressed down. Once you've got it compressed, you should be able to easily unbolt that top mount bushing. It takes a little bit to get it down, especially if you don't have a drill, but the drill definitely helps. As you can see, it's compressing the spring down. Now that the spring is loose, it's quite loose, it may need to come down a little bit more. As you can see right there, there's the bottom of the bearing in that white line bushing. I'm actually replacing them with white line bushings again. There'll be links in the description below with all the parts I've used and everything that I have done with this video. So there's your white line bushings. It comes with directions inside if you're not sure of how it goes back together or forget how this top goes together. So now I'm just going to get my wrench and get this bolt off and get this bad boy out and replace the other one. So now we're going to get this bolt off. You're going to need a 15/16 wrench or socket, whatever you prefer. I've just got this because that's going to be the same size as the bolt on the very top. I'm holding my GoPro right now, so let me see if I can do this so you can see how it comes apart. Kind of making a little rig here. Maybe you've got it in the picture there, but just get it, and if it's compressed enough, then it should be very easy to turn, as like so. So now take this bolt off, or this nut, I guess. get that off. Get that off just for reference. I've got a motor under here, so just take it and slide it up. Probably gonna lose the bearings out of the bottom. Yeah. So this one was in pretty bad shape. If you can see, the whole bottom of the bearings are popping out, kind of falling apart here. So that's how you pull that off, and then you'll take the new one, slap it on there, and make sure you've got everything in place where it should be, and put it back in the car. Another thing I'd like to show you is that this white line bushing is probably, I'd say, 2 years old. So I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's just a little bit different. It got compressed just a little bit, but white line's definitely the best ones to go with right now on the Pontiac G8s. But as you can see, it comes with new bearings. Hopefully these will last a little longer. So now I'm going to take this one and put it on. Alright, at this point I've just gotten this snug. Spring still compressed. What you want to do at this point is just kind of get this down until it pretty much stops, and then you'll know it's seated where it needs to be and you're not loose or anything like that. And so there it is, it's stopped at that point and the whole thing wants to turn. So I'm going to get my 10-inch wrench to go on this. It's kind of an odd size, but I've got it to where a 10-inch wrench will fit. So what I'll do now is just make sure that it is snug. I'm going to get my wrench on there and hold this still, and just kind of get a little tug on that. So that's where it's going to be, and it's down as far as it needs to be, and this is still pretty loose. So now I'm going to take the drill and decompress these and make sure my lines, wherever they're at on there, make sure they're lined up with the proper area that it's supposed to be. Alright, now at this point I've just got it sitting up in here, just kind of loosely holding. But what you want to do at this time is make sure you've got it lined up where you need it, and it's of course staying in there. I do have lowering springs on mine, so it sits a little lower than normal. They're H&R springs on the front, and I've got E-Bach in the back, just kind of give it a little more rake. I'll leave links in the description below so you guys can go check them out. But at this point you want to make sure you can get, it's kind of hard to do when I'm holding this camera, but you want to get this lined up, because of course these two bolt holes got to line up with these, and then you take your bolts and slide them through there. Of course, pretty simple, not too bad, but that's it. Another thing that I want to mention to you is make sure when you go to tighten up these bolts here that you make sure that this is butted up all the way against the actual strut, because if you don't, then your alignment's going to be off, of course, and you don't want that, because then you got bad tire wear, and then your alignment's going to be messed up and have to go spend money to get an alignment redone, and then half the time the alignment guys don't know that this screw is used for alignment also. So make sure that you have it butted up against the strut as far as it'll go when you go to tighten it down. And once you get that tightened down, get your sway bar link in the hole. Make sure it's flush against the back, because if you don't and it's loose, then you're going to have some more popping and more issues going on. So other than that, that's about it on this bottom side. Once you've got these tightened, come up here to the top and tighten this down. Don't over tighten it, because you really can't over tighten it, but you definitely don't want to strip this out, because then you're going to need a new strut next time you go to put it on. But when it's all finished and done, the top should look like this. You should have a little bit of thread showing. This one sits down on the actual strut mount area, I guess you'd say. I'm not real sure what it would be called, but you don't want any space in between here. If you've got a good bit of space in between this top piece and your frame area, then your bushings are bad. You need to go ahead and replace them. Other than that, that's pretty much it on uninstalling the old and reinstalling the new. So thanks, guys. So I want to go over the tools that you'll need to do the top mount, strut mount, or top mount bushing for the Pontiac G8. And of course, if you wanted to change out your spring while you're doing your bushing, the tools that you're going to need are more than likely a torque wrench. Take the wheel off, get the lug nuts off. You're going to need a 19-inch wrench or socket, whatever you prefer, to hold that bolt there. And then I like to use a 21-inch. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong size. 7/8 on over here to do that one. Makes it a little easier. And of course, you're going to need a 15-inch socket to get the sway bar link loosened up and taken out. But be sure when you go to take this bolt off that you have a wrench that's a 19-inch to go on the back side of the sway bar link, because if not, then the ball is just going to spin in there and you're never going to get that bolt off. Pair of pliers are good to twist these out, because you'll have to twist them back in if you can't get them off by hand or put them in by hand. That usually just slides right out. And then of course you're going to need a 15/16 for this top bolt, and of course the bolt under this cover. And I like to use a 10 here. It's kind of an odd size. Got to find the right 10, but you do not want to strip this out, because if you strip that out, then you're screwed and have to have a new strut. But other than that, of course, a jack stand. That's pretty much all the tools that you're going to need to pull all this assembly apart. Now, when it comes to compressing the spring in there, then you're going to need the spring compressors. Sorry about my garage, guys. It's pretty messy, but you can use these spring compressors here. They're really good, especially if you got a drill that you can use on it. Drill makes it a lot quicker. I use Milwaukee, of course. But other than that, that is about all you'll need for replacing your strut mount bushing. Ignore my hood prop, but yeah, that's all it takes to get that off. Probably if you are experienced or have done it before, then you can probably get it done within an hour. It's pretty simple. If you run into trouble, like if you're up in northern area, you're gonna have some rust in these areas here, just from all the salt on the roads and things. But that's it. Thanks.